Hi, my name is Kieran Kenny. I'm chairperson of the Irish Aftercare Network and an aftercare worker with TUSLA. I'm delighted to welcome you all here today to the Sheraton Hotel in Athlone for our annual conference, Looking Forward, working with young people leaving care. The growth of the Irish Aftercare Network over the last number of years is hugely testament to how imperative aftercare is for so many young people leaving care. We now currently have 550 members and we are representative of over 80 different professional bodies. Today is our first annual conference in 3 years. The last 3 years, as you all know, have been 3 years like no other. And as chairperson of the Irish Aftercare Network, I would like to pay a real acknowledgement to aftercare workers nationally who, particularly throughout the pandemic, showed huge commitment and creativity in being able to respond to and provide adequate care for some of the most vulnerable young people within our society. I am particularly delighted to welcome Minister Roderick O'Gorman here this morning. The Minister's presence with our members here this morning is a real testament to the fact that aftercare is no longer an afterthought. Aftercare is a pivotal component in regards to young people transitioning from state care onto independent living. And ourselves in the Irish Aftercare Network will continue to advocate as strongly as possible to ensure that those young people leaving care and moving on to aftercare and onto independent living are provided with the best services possible to ensure such a smooth transition. We welcome you all here again today, and I hope you have a wonderful morning and afternoon with ourselves. Thanks a million.
Homelessness should not even cross the mind of any young person leaving care. They've had enough trauma in their lives, and to re-traumatise them at that stage is abhorrent. Local authorities and TUSLA need to work together to ring fence some housing for care leavers. We're not talking about a huge number of young people here. 500 to 600 young people leave care every year. I'd say about a quarter of those young people have an acute housing need. So that's a very small number.
Hi guys, my name is Aisling. I'm a committee member with the Irish Aftercare Network. I've been on the committee for just over a year now, but it's my first conference. It's great to be all together in a room again. Obviously since COVID we haven't been able to do that. And I guess I'm really looking forward to the amazing lineup of speakers that we have and to also pick a few brains in the room. But yeah, looking forward to the day.
And that transition to a status of independent living for those leaving care is absolutely critical in ensuring that these young people have those opportunities to thrive and to reach their very full potential.
I'm David, and for anybody who doesn't know me, I lived in state care all of my life. And when you move from a normal house into a residential, it's kind of like you have no say and people kind of forget who you are. But when you leave the HSE altogether and when you have an aftercare plan, it's nice just to have that feeling of somebody actually cares about you, gives you the option to go back to education. I struggled reading and writing all my life. So it gives you courage just knowing that there's someone in your life who's genuine and it's not just a 9-to-5 job, who actually wants to make a difference in your life.
A lot to the drama group, to Kieran and to Stuart over there, to Elaine, and Johnny Ward, because they helped me question the negative things that I believed about myself, and I really dived into caring about myself more. And it's been a journey throughout this year, but like even with the mental health things, it's like how I didn't focus on education. I'm repeating my degree this year in Ballyfermot, but I didn't focus on education because I was just focusing on just being okay. You know, it's hard to focus on anything else than being okay when it's such a draining thing.
But there's this French philosopher from the 1960s wrote this book, which I'm not going to pronounce in French, but it's an amazing book. I read it as part of my research for this book. I just came across it, and I was struck by it, how he spoke about the very buildings, he talked about the touch memory, that when you open a door of your home, the memories come back of what that is. And I was just struck by that, the feeling. And you think about some people who are, you live in a new home now and you go back to your old home, if it's still there where you came from, you open a door or you feel a cupboard or a drawer and your memories come back to you. And that the way in which the physical building becomes, as he describes, imbued with our memories, imbued with who we are. And why that's so important for care leavers is that where they are at those different points in care is their home. And so when they have to leave that, what does that mean? And where do they get those memories, and how do those connections and what it means, and also then how they create their new home.
I talk about the girls in my class, like they used to listen to Duran Duran and Culture Club and Simple Minds and The Cure and all. I listened to the Beatles. I was really they were really superficial, and I had such depth, and I would write poetry and I would write songs, and so there's a real self-consciousness that emerges now, and that's really important for the development